Hello people, this is Mark and Lara from Kharischangeworks. Guys, I hope you are well. We've been discussing some of the effects of a toxic relationship in the shape of what goes around comes around. And we've looked at toxicity and corrosive style people. They are very similar, except that one leaves some scars that are easily wiped away and dealt with. Your narc, your toxic person, and your corrosive person is the one that, in spite of walking away, the scars that they leave is, can we nearly say, permanent. And both are very effective in destroying the DNA that makes you up in terms of your beliefs, your identity, your values, your ethics, the way you think, the way you see things, the way you speak and behave. It does a number on you that once you recognize what's going on in your world, it would be very similar that you will not recognize who you've become as a result of the influence of the narc as well as the corrosive person in your life. We've said in a previous video that it will feel like you are going insane. You will feel like you're going mad. That is a fact. Another fact is you're not. It is this cognitive dissonance, the video is there, that you are struggling with more often than not, because you know what you want, but you are challenged and bombarded with this other information that is there to gaslight you, to deliberately put you under pressure for you to snap, so that the narc, the corrosive person can say 1-0.
Perfect.
So me and Lara are going to discuss what happens after. Because when you are in the heat of the moment, the only thing that you can focus on through whether you've been bullied, which is more often the case, and manipulated, is the here and now. The chaos that's going on in your universe. You haven't got time to think about the next door neighbor and their dog that's barking at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that just adds to the pressure, and you haven't got time to add more pressure to your life. You find it difficult to break away and give yourself some time to have a breather. It's just a fact. So myself and Lara, we both have experienced toxicity. We both experience narc abuse. We have both experienced corrosiveness to some degree or another.
Yes.
So whilst we may not have qualifications from a college or a university to qualify what we are saying, we are overqualified from an experiential point of view in terms of how it happens, how it feels like, how disempowered you feel, how dehumanized you become. Equally, this video, what happens after your eyes open and you go, wow, this isn't fun. I need to get back to who I was, but an improved, upgraded version of the past with a number of years of experience of abuse, what are you going to do with those scars? What are you going to do with those experiences? What are you going to do with that, dare I say, time wasted?
Yes.
But it's not time wasted. It's actually there to make you stronger. This is what this video is all about. So, Lara, would you mind starting for us, please?
I think the most important thing to remember is when you realize that you're in this big mess and you don't know how you got there, is that it's okay and you are going to be okay. That there is life after toxic people or corrosive people. And many people have done it. They don't actually advertise it. But it is possible to get yourself out of that, to get yourself healed, and to become a better version of you who is stronger and wiser in the long run.
Yes. The pair of us are that. In fact, this whole channel is based around the fact that we have survived it.
Correct.
This channel, yeah, there's little bits and pieces on little interesting things like the thought of the day and the inspirational quotes. But if you look at the theme of this channel, it's all about you'll make it. You will be okay. As Lara said, there is life after a knock, that's for sure. But what I want to say to you is, whilst there is life, my encouragement, and Lara's is exactly the same, is you have to give yourself time when you step away from the relationship. You have to give yourself time to heal.
Absolutely.
Right? I read a statistic about 18 months ago where they said from a psychological point of view, it's a ratio of 2 to 1. 2 years of healing for every 1 year of abuse. Okay? That takes time. You have to be kind to yourself and allow yourself that privilege of saying, I am breaking away from toxic person, narc, corrosive person, and I'm giving myself 6 months, 9 months, a year, the rest of my life dedicated with one purpose in mind, and that is to take the puzzle piece that is you, that's been shattered all over the place, and systematically putting those puzzle pieces back together again with loads of additionals, loads of experiences, and maybe a glossy paint cover with a nice sheen as a result. Put it back.
Yes.
It's not selfish in the sense of I'm doing this for me to show you. It's not that kind of selfishness. It is a selfishness that says, I deserve time to heal.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
I didn't deserve being destroyed, but I deserve time to heal. I deserve time to generate a love for where I am at, regardless of the path and journey I've been through to get to where I am now. It's a privilege. I will go as far as to say, and I reckon Lara will say something similar, there is light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, I made a video about this a number of months ago. Go watch it, where I talk about if your life was down a tube like spaghetti, it's all mangled because it's gone soft and floppy, because that's what happens to spaghetti when you boil it. But if you follow it, eventually you come to the end. And if there was light at the end of that tunnel, you will see it.
Mm-hmm.
The pair of us are saying to you today, press in, love yourself, value who you are. You might have to forgive yourself when you've given yourself a hard time.
Yes.
And when you feel guilty for allowing these things to happen, let me tell you now, Lara made a fantastic video yesterday. Forgiveness is the key. Without forgiveness, you will not get out of that prison. You will see the keys at the other end where you just can't reach it, and it's fractions away from you. But forgiveness is the thing that brings the keys to you to open that prison door. I know it's a model operator of necessity, but you have to.
Yes.
If I can say, L'Oreal says, you're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to say to you, and Lara will say the same, is L'Oreal.
Absolutely.
You are worth it. Yes, the pain is painful. It's uncomfortable. It's chaotic. It's manic. It is every emotion that you possibly can think of. It's not joyful. It's not happy. You can't. It's negative. But there's hope. There is life. There's light. There's love. There's healing. There's restoration. There's strength. There's courage. There's wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
That is all sat in the pool waiting for you to embark on the journey to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, if I may, what did you do when you broke away from your negative, toxic relationship?
Okay, I ended up getting divorced, unfortunately, after quite a couple of years of marriage, 20 odd years of marriage. And it took me a while to get to that point because, like I said the other day, you have to forgive yourself because you know you're not a stupid person, and you kind of go, what the hell did I do to get into this situation? Why didn't I see it coming? And it's to forgive yourself, first of all, to deal with that. And a lot of the time you need to get to that point so that you can formulate a way to get out. Because if you're in an Narc relationship or whatever, they've got you so manipulated and so controlled that you actually need to formulate a plan. Otherwise, you're not going to get out. You need to make a process, a list of stuff to work through so you can get from point A to point B. So that's what I did. And it took a while. And then also just to take time to heal. I haven't been in a relationship with anybody since then, which I think is a good thing because people need to heal. You can't just go from one to another because that's stupid, because then you're on the rebound and you've got all this baggage and you're going off with somebody else who's probably got the same kind of baggage, and it's just a mess from the beginning. So if you want to get into a relationship that's going to work one day, you've got to heal first, bottom line. And people go, yeah, but I need somebody in my life. Yes, you do. You need yourself, first of all. You need to get yourself together before you can have somebody else in any event. And if you've got kids, your priority needs to be to help them get right as well. My kids and I are still on a journey. It's not by any means over yet. But compared to where we were 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, we're in a better place emotionally. It's the fact of the matter, because you're not in that toxic environment 24/7. And that's the main thing, is to get out of that environment so you can actually breathe. And it's not an easy process. It's a step-by-step process. And you got to feel like you're going 1 forward, 10 back. But that's when your friends come in. And I've got people like you and my parents and a couple of other ladies in my life that have just helped me get through it, that I've bounced stuff off, that have been there when I've needed to cry and scream and shout and perform. And it's thanks to that, having that tribe around me, that's got me to where I am today. And of course, my belief in God, but that's just a personal thing. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here, plain and simple. But that's just my personal opinion and my personal belief. But that's what got me through.
Yes. It's like stepping away from that rubbish dump when you've had enough of smelling all that stinky air, and seeing all the waste around you, it's like, I've had enough of that. I'm changing scenery.
Yes,
It just means
absolutely.
turning your back towards it rather than face it. That in its own right, from personal experience, that takes a ton of courage to do.
Absolutely, it does.
And then that's the thing that I found difficult to do, is to actually turn around.
Mm.
I found that incredibly difficult to do. But what I found is once you've done that, then the next step is just as difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's a decision of having to walk away.
Correct.
And I
Correct.
found that incredibly hard to do because I had this religious belief, and the church believes this and the Bible says that, and you've made promises here, there, and everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
got your own moral code to adhere to, and what you're doing goes against everything that you've been taught. And in the meantime, you are sitting in a pool of acid and you just being away and you can't understand what's going on.
Took me 3.5 years to get out of that belief system.
Yes.
3.5 years of tossing and this, like we said, the cognitive dissonance. 3.5 years.
Yeah,
to get to the point where to make that decision for you.
Yeah,
it's not easy at all.
No. And then what I also found, folks, and you might find the same thing, similar to Lara, or it might be similar to me, it might be a combination. When you turn around, like in my case, the first step is gigantic in terms of its effort.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the microscopiest of movements that you've made. And then the next one is equally as difficult, but you're a little bit further away. And then eventually you feel, well, I did. I'm becoming more of myself, albeit that I was a million miles from my true self. I found that I was actually gaining momentum in this process of walking away from the very rot that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started moving now, just like you, I've got you as my bestie, and I've got other people like Kay, my parents, and a couple of others who's been there faithfully to assist me along the way. Because, man, when you're broken, and you need someone to bring social, psychological, emotional glue to hold you together.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
And I walked away, and eventually it's like, oh, God, I'm not here anymore. I'm now 10 meters away from that stink. I can still smell it, but I'm not in it. I'm at a distance. Like you, 3.5 years. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you're 20 meters away, where I was.
Yes.
Now, I don't even know where that rubbish dump is.
Correct.
Because I've healed, I'm healing, I will eventually be totally healed. Lara has healed, healing, and will eventually get to the place where she is also totally healed.
Yes.
And folks, what we're saying here is the first decision to turn around is tough. It's tough. You're going to fight everything that you believe in. You're going to fight it. My opinion is, my experience says that is you've become accustomed to the programming of being abused with consent.
Correct.
So you can fight it. It's a Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start moving around and you realize that that ain't you ain't deserving of it, and now you start moving away from it, albeit at snail's pace. I'd rather go slow and forward than back and be consumed by it again, or even backwards. Abraham Lincoln said, I move slowly, but I move forward nonetheless.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes.
And eventually, my friend, as you've heard from both of us, there's healing, there's hope. You get the benefit from it. L'Oreal. When you fight this fight, it's a tough one. It punches you from every angle. So be aware where your emotions are going to come and make you angry. You're going to feel bitter, upset. There will be days where you think, I'm okay. There are other days where you might feel reasonably happy. And then the next minute, you will be venomous. There's a carousel of emotions that you will go through. And eventually those colors fade out of that carousel. And eventually you just see that light. Boom. Then you know you are dealing with stuff that needed dealing with. And you will continue to deal with this till you say, done. And you will know when that is.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, if you are on this journey, or should you know of anybody that is on this journey, encourage them.
Yes.
Be there for them. You don't have to say much. As long as they know that they can rely on you, that in its own right is worth its weight in gold. Encourage them. Refer them to people like myself or Lara, because let me tell you now, this is not something that you learn at a university. The University of Life is the one that you learn from. And it's a far better school than any university in the world. The exams are tough. But here it is. You will pass.
Correct.
You will graduate. And then when you look back, you'll say, just like most people who've got degrees, I haven't got a degree. I've got 37 in my head when I'm functioning at normal temperature. You will pass and you'll go, I've made it. Lara has made it. So we want to encourage you as a team who is on this channel to say to you, hang on there. You will be okay. You will find that you are going mad. And you will get through it. And you will get stronger. And you'll be able to help. And your level of empathy will increase. And you will find hope and love and healing and restoration and courage, blessings. You will find all of these things after a not toxic, corrosive relationship. Because that's the gift that is waiting for you. That's all we want to say to you today is, hang in there. Talk to us. We know what we're talking about. Okay. Lara, is there anything else that you would like to say, or shall we quit here?
No, I think just that I'll encourage people and just say, you can do it. It feels like your whole world is imploding at the time, but you're going to be okay. You can do it.
Yes. Okay, guys. Please join the YouTube admin. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, pick, or tell all your friends, tell all your family, especially for those who you think or know is in this type of relationship where it is corrosive, narcissistic, abusive, call it whatever you like. Tell them. Let them see what it's like. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. We would like to support you. We would like to encourage you. Because at the end of the day, you're a winner.
Absolutely.
But for now, this is Mark and Lara from Kharischangeworks. And we will speak to you soon.
Bye.